Hello and welcome back to PACIS TV. This is the time for the news in English on the 30th of April 2026, the last day of the month. I give you a warm welcome. I am Benjamin Kwizera and these are the headlines. On the 29th of April 2026, Mibirizi Hospital in Rusizi District commemorated the former staff members, patients and caregivers who were killed during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. The Bishop of Ruhengeri Diocese, Vincent Harurimana, emphasized that he who is confirmed is guided and characterized by the word of the Holy Spirit. In Nyaruguru district, the president of private sector took an oath before Intermediate Court of Nyamagabe to join the district council committee, where he immediately began his responsibilities of leading the private sector federation. In international news, oil prices have jumped to the highest since 2022 after a report that the US military is set to brief President Donald Trump on the new plans for potential actions in Iran war. Welcome to the news in the details. On the 29th of April 2026, Mibirizi Hospital in Rusizi District commemorated the former staff members, patients and caregivers who were killed during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Survivors and relatives of those who were killed and buried there requested that a memorial wall bearing the names of victims must be installed at the hospital and that the burial site be properly maintained. News in detail.
Mibirizi Hospital in Rusizi District commemorated former staff members, patients who were killed during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. Survivors and relatives of those who were killed and buried there requested that a memorial wall bearing the names of the victims be installed at the hospital and that the burial site be properly maintained. The district authorized states that this will be done soon. They will also plan to relocate the remains of 16 victims so they can be laid to rest alongside others at Mibirizi Genocide Memorial once it has been expanded and properly renovated. This event was part of the 32nd commemoration of the genocide against the Tutsi. It specifically honored former staff in Mibirizi Hospital, as well as patients and caregivers who were killed there. Families of victims and Rusizi district officials lit the flame of hope and laid wealth at the graves. Mukunzengase Mai Vestin, who has relatives buried there, requested a clear marker listing the names of victims be installed, that the memorial site be properly rehabilitated. Yes, it's necessary because it comforts us. Our beloved ones should not be forgotten. They should be an example for the staff of Mibirizi Hospital. When employees leave hospital, they will see that there have been heroes before them. This will give them strength to fight against the ideology of the genocide. It hurts us to see our stays in the rain. We talked to the director, asked him to place them in a memorial. The representative of Ibuka also emphasized the need to careful renovation of the memorial to ensure that no remains are left unaccounted for, noting that when the site was first established, some burial areas were not clearly marked. We once again thank Mibirizi Hospital for creating this moment to commemorate the patients and sick guard, victims of genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. We appreciate this because people find peace and give strength to children of these victims. There was information that was not clear during the construction of memorial. It was later discovered that some people had not yet been buried, but the management told us that they would take care of it. The mayor of Rusizi district, Sindai Heba Fanuel, praised the courage of those who had sought refuge. He assured that the names of the victims will be displayed on a memorial and that the 16 bodies will be respectfully buried together with others. Once the Mibirizi memorial has been upgraded and expanded, in reality it is a temporary solution that we have to put in place. We promise Rwandans that there's 16 bodies will be moved to a memorial that will be renovated. Thus, during the commemoration period, we'll be able to remember all the Tutsi killed during the 1994 genocide in this new modern memorial. Most of those killed at Mibirizi Hospital, nurses, doctors, murdered between April 18 and April 13, 1994. While continuing to provide medical care despite being targeted, April 30 is official commemoration day of Mibirizi and Mushaka, marking the day of major attack that killed many people who had taken refuge at Mibirizi parish.
From Cyangugu to Ruhengeri, during the Eucharistic celebration held at the Rwanda Coding Academy, the sacrament of confirmation, one of the fundamental sacraments given to Christians, was administered. Kevin Uwase and Emi Chubahiro, students at Rwanda Coding Academy, said that the school who received the sacrament spoke out its value and importance of their lives. Claudine Byukusenge and Nkurunziza Hirwa and Merve, who served as baptism sponsors for the confirmed students, expressed their satisfaction with the outcome of the responsibility. They also called on the baptism sponsors to play a greater role in supporting biological parents in raising children who will be beneficial to themselves, the country, and the church. Meanwhile, Bishop Vincent Harorimana reiterated that confirmed person is marked by upright speech and is guided by Holy Spirit throughout their life, which distinguishes them from those who have not received Holy Spirit. He further urged the students of the school to make good use of the opportunities offered to them by both the country and the church, noting that these opportunities are essential for their lives. Rwanda Coding Academy, located in Nyabihu district in Western Province, is a school that provides advanced education in computer science, including programming, cybersecurity, and other technology-related fields. In addition to technical knowledge, students are also nurtured in values, including Christian values. The school is part of Busogo Parish within Diocese of Ruhengeri. In Nyaruguru district at 9:30 a.m. this Thursday, Muremanzi Jerome took an oath before the president of Intermediate Court and the court registrar to join the advisory committee of Nyaruguru district. Bishibishi Maurice, president of Intermediate Court of Nyamagabe, while receiving this oath, referred to the legal provisions governing such ceremonies and urged Muremanzi Jerome to remain faithful to the responsibilities he had sworn to uphold before the law. After taking the oath, Muremanzi Jerome was officially authorized to begin the duties to which he had been elected as a president of Private Sector Federation in the district. He said that private sector operations must work harder to make the tangible contribution to the development of Nyaruguru district and the country in general. Among the strategies he presented, he emphasized bringing together all private sector forces in district. In particular, they must focus on promoting tourism activities in the district, especially since religious pilgrimages in Kibeho have already opened opportunities for them, while the government of Rwanda has also provided infrastructure. Some private business operators in Kibeho Trading Center say that the responsibilities of the new leader, they expect him to visit them regularly, understand the challenges they face in their daily work, and where possible, advocate on their behalf. Members of the district advisory committee, as well as the leadership of Southern Province, said that they are ready to work well with Muremanzi Jerome. They added that they expect his fresh leadership to help deliver concrete results for the development of district residents and the country as a whole. From Nyaruguru back to Kigali, in a profound and committed message, the First Lady Jeannette Kagame urged the younger generations to play an active role in preserving truth and memory. The news in detail. In a profound and committed message, the First Lady Jeannette Kagame urged younger generations to play an active role in preserving the truth and memory. She stated that the truth does not defend itself, emphasizing the need for everyone to stand up and uphold it with intelligence and discernment. Reflecting on the 32 years since the genocide against the Tutsi, she recalled the suffering of the past as well as the resilience of the Rwandan people and the progress made in rebuilding the country. The First Lady also warned against attempts to manipulate history and the spread of misinformation, especially in the area of social media. She called on young people to develop critical thinking, verify sources, and resist hate speech. In her message, she also highlighted the essential role of education and the transmission of values, urging parents to raise a conscious generation capable of defending its identity and contributing to a peaceful future. Finally, she reaffirmed Rwanda's commitment to preserving unity, peace, and human dignity, calling on every citizen to remain vigilant so that the tragedies of the past never happen again. A message full of hope and responsibility directed toward the youth, called to be the pillar of the strong and united Rwanda. Well, after a short commercial break, we are coming back with the international news tonight.
Shuri bose bashaka ni College Fondation Sinagera.
Mama we.
Iri ni ishuri ribumbatiye icyerekezo cy'u Rwanda twifuza kuko ritanga uburezi buhamye mu mashuri y'inshuke, abanza, icyiciro rusange ndetse n'amashami y'imyuga n'ubumenyingiro mu buhinzi, ubworozi, food processing, ubwubatsi, ubuganishi bw'ibinyabiziga, fashion design, gutunganya imisatsi, ububaji n'ubusuderi. Hari n'amasomo y'igihe gito short courses mu mashami yavuzwe haruguru aherekezwa na practice zihagije kuko abanyeshuri bigira mu nganda za Sinagera International Football Academy yigisha abana guhera ku myaka 6 gucunga ruhago sawa, athleticism, imbyino nyarwanda no kwiga amategeko y'umuhanda no gutwara ibinyabiziga nabyo biri mu nyongera y'amasomo. Abana biga amashuri y'incuke n'abanza basoza ibyo byiciro bose bazi gutwara igare. Umwana wa segonderi we atahana uruhusa rwo gutwara ibinyabiziga. Witinde kwandikisha umwana ku ishuri kuri Nyirangarama cyangwa ku mashami ya Sinagera Entreprise Urwibutso hose mu gihugu. Ku bindi bisobanuro hamagara 0788535123 cyangwa 0788535999. Twubaka ubukungu bushingiye ku bumenyi. Vibe zose urazisanga kuri app Canal Plus. Kugeza tariki 30 Mata urahabwa amashani yose ya Canal Plus na ya DSTV English Plus kuri application ya Canal Plus. Iyi promosiyo irahabwa abakiriya bafitemo abonnement. Ntucikwe. Downloading app Canal Plus kuri Play Store cyangwa se App Store. Unogerwe na programu ukunda kuri sheni ushaka. Birenze kureba biduha vibes.
I wish I could leave my skin behind.
Icy'ingenzi ntabwo ari ukugira diplome ya kaminuza. Uyu munsi birahagije kuganira n'umuntu byonyine ukamenya ko yize muri kaminuza ibonetse yose cyangwa se ko yize muri kaminuza Gatolika y'u Rwanda, Catholic University of Rwanda, by'umwihariko mu ishami ryayo rya Kigali. Ubu abazi guhitamo neza batangiye kwiyandikisha muri Catholic University of Rwanda Kigali campus ikorera Nyamirambo. Abashaka kwiga mu mashami y'uburezi kwiyandikisha mu gihembwe kizatangira mu kwezi kwa gatatu March intake byaratangiye muri Post Graduate Diploma in Education PGDE. Aba biga muri weekend. Hatangwa kandi amasomo muri Department of Education in Sciences mu mashami ya Economics and Computer Science, Mathematics and Computer Science, Mathematics and Geography na Mathematics and Economics. Hari kandi Department of Education in Arts and Social Sciences mu mashami ya English and Kinyarwanda, English and French, French and Kinyarwanda, English and Kiswahili, Economics and Entrepreneurship, English and History, Economics and History na Economics and Geography. Uhitamo kwiga ku manywa cyangwa se mu biruhuko. Twakira kandi abanyeshuri bafite A1 muri education bakeneye gukomeza amasomo yabo ku rwego rwa A0. Iyandikisha unyuze kuri wa@CUR.AC.RW. Wanahamagara cyangwa ukandika ubutumwa kuri 07 83 18 86 26 cyangwa 07 33 21 46 78 cyangwa nanone 07 88 52 41 98. Wanandika email kuri curkigalcampus@gmail.com.
The only way to being found is getting lost.
Hanyuma rero ugiye kutubwira impamvu zatumye uhitamo kuza gusaba akazi hano.
Bwa mbere nza gusaba akazi hano nari nabitekerejeho, mbabarire. Murakoze. Mu by'ukuri numvaga mfite ubushobozi ndetse n'ubushake.
So kutiteguye bihagije ni ukutaryama neza. Rwanda Farm, le paradis du matelas.
BAKRISTU
Welcome to our international news tonight, and let's begin in the United States of America. Oil prices have jumped to their highest since 2022 after a report that U.S. military is set to brief President Donald Trump on new plans for potential action in Iran war. U.S. Central Command has prepared a plan for a wave of short and powerful strikes on Iran to try to break the deadlock in negotiations with Tehran. News site Axios reported that BBC has now contacted U.S. Central Command and the White House for comment. Brent crude rose almost 7% to more than $126 a barrel at one point, the highest since Russia's full-scale invasion on Ukraine. Energy prices have risen this week as peace talks appear to have stalled, with the key strait of Hormuz waterway still effectively closed after reaching $126.31 a barrel at one point in Asian trade. The price of Brent crude fell back to around $122 in early trade in Europe. The Axios report cited anonymous sources saying the proposed wave of strikes would be likely to include infrastructure targets. Another plan focused on taking over part of Strait of Hormuz so that it can be reopened for commercial shipping, Axios reported. U.S. traded West Texas Intermediate crude oil rose up to 1.4% at around 108 a barrel. The U.S. said it would blockade Indian ports for as long as Tehran continues to threaten vessels to try to use the Strait of Hormuz. Oil prices had surged by 6% on Wednesday, following reports that Washington was preparing an extended blockade of Iran. From United States straight to North Korea, at the unveiling of towering bronze sculpture in North Korea, the prayer of Russian soldiers in combat, Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea, praised troops who chose death over capture while fighting in Ukraine. It was a striking and unusually explicit acknowledgement of Pyongyang's long-suspect battlefield doctrine. According to the transcript published by North Korean state media KCNA, Kim declared that those who unhesitatingly opted for self-blasting and suicide attacks had shown the highest form of loyalty, a reference to soldiers throwing themselves on grenades or detonating explosive rather than risk being taken prisoner. President Kim Jong-un made the remarks at the opening of a vast new memorial complex on the outskirts of the capital, walking past the rows and freshly laid graves before kneeling to place soil into an open burial site inside bronze sanctuary and black marble walls etched with names. Surround displays of soldiers remained, personal relics and captured military equipment. The site part cemetery and part museum is the centerpiece of the broader campaign to frame the deaths of North Korean soldiers in Russia's war on its neighbor as acts of heroism and patriotic sacrifice. For months, North Korean state media has offered vivid and often graphic accounts on how those soldiers died. Previous reporting has described troops detonating grenades as they surrounded, shouting for comrades to stay back before triggering the blast. From North Korea straight to United Kingdom, the man suspected of carrying out the knife attack Golders Green had previously been referred to the government's counter-terrorism prevention program, the BBC understands. The 45-year-old was born in Somalia and came to UK as a child in the early 90s. He came legally and is now a British citizen. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner Mark Rowley said he had a history of serious violence and mental health issues. An address in southeast London is being searched. After his arrest, the suspect was treated briefly in a hospital and now remains in police custody. He is being held under the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, so in theory, he can be held for up to 96 hours if the police are granted permission by a magistrate, though they may not necessary in the case. Two Jewish men, 34-year-old Shalom Rein and 76-year-old Moshe Rein, were attacked on Wednesday. Shalom Rein's mother tells the BBC her son, the 34-year-old victim of attack, is in stable condition. Rein was walking in the street minding own business and he was able to see him yesterday. All right, thank you very much for being with us tonight. This is the end of our news. But before we leave, let's go back to the top stories. In Cyangugu on 29th of April 2026, Mibirizi Hospital in Rusizi District commemorated former staff members, patients and caregivers who were killed during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi. In Ruhengeri, the Bishop of Diocese, Vincent Harurimana, emphasized that he who is confirmed is guided and characterized by the word of the Holy Spirit. In Nyaruguru district, the president of the Private Sector Federation took an oath before the Intermediate Court to join the District Council Committee, where he immediately began his responsibilities of leading the Private Sector Federation in the district. In international news, oil prices have jumped to their highest since 2022 after a report that says that the U.S. military is set to brief the President Donald Trump on the new plans for potential action in the Iranian war. Thank you very much once again for being with us tonight. This is PACIS TV. I am Benjamin Kwizera, and good night.